In the chilling annals of true crime, one name stands out as a dark enigma: Amarjeet Sada. Born in a remote corner of India, he is infamous for being one of the youngest convicted serial killers in history, killed 3 innocent children at the age of 8. His story delves into the complex interplay of human nature, childhood psychology, and the justice system. Amarjeet's journey into infamy began at the age of 7 when he embarked on a nightmarish path, leaving behind a trail of fear and sorrow by taking the lives of 3 innocent children in his community. This video explores the depths of Amarjeet Sada's life and crimes, taking us from the tranquil villages of rural India to the disturbing corners of the human psyche. It compels us to confront the very nature of evil and the moral dilemmas faced by a justice system tasked with prosecuting a child who committed acts associated with the darkest depths of depravity. Beyond the psychological analysis, his story leaves an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, reminding us of the fragility of innocence and the unsettling potential for malevolence within us all. Let us start from the beginning chapter of his life. In the quiet, remote village of Musahar in Bihar, India, the stage was set for a tale that would send shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. It was here that a boy named Amarjeet Sada took his first breath, his life unfolding against the backdrop of a world untouched by the frenetic pace of modernity. Born to a humble couple, Amarjeet's parents toiled as laborers, their daily existence defined by hard work and the relentless pursuit of a meager livelihood. Little Amarjeet entered the world with a destiny shadowed by poverty. And then, when he was but 7 years old, the family was blessed with another member, a baby girl. While most would celebrate the arrival of a new addition to the family, for Amarjeet's parents, it presented yet another mouth to feed in their struggle for survival. If you like these type of contents, then don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the like button. Amarjeet was a child marked by solitude, a loner by nature. The arduous realities of life, coupled with the burden of a growing family, left him with little time or inclination for the joys of childhood. Instead, he found solace in the simple pleasures of his rural surroundings, often seeking refuge among the branches of trees that soared high above his village. With no friends to call his own, Amarjeet roamed the village's winding paths, his young mind a world unto itself. As we delve deeper into the enigma of Amarjeet Sada's life, we'll come to understand how these humble beginnings and his solitary nature laid the foundation for a shocking and sinister path that would eventually grip his village in fear. As we peer into the depths of Amarjeet's actions, they align disturbingly with the diagnostic criteria of conduct disorder and psychopathy. Conduct disorder, a childhood psychiatric condition, is characterized by aggression, defiance of societal norms, and a stark absence of empathy. Psychopathy, on the other hand, involves a chilling absence of remorse, manipulative tendencies, and an utter disregard for the rights and well-being of others. Amarjeet's repeated acts of violence and his apparent lack of remorse or empathy for his victims leave a haunting trail that hints at the presence of these troubling disorders. In hindsight, several early warning signs emerged, underscoring Amarjeet's potential for violence. His cruelty to animals, a fascination with fire setting, and a disconcerting lack of appropriate emotional responses to troubling situations were telltale signs. If detected and addressed in their infancy, these behaviors might have averted the escalation of his violent tendencies. Childhood trauma, an undeniable influence in Amarjeet's life, played a pivotal role. Growing up in a volatile and neglectful environment desensitized him to violence and normalized deviant behavior. Exposure to disturbing content from a tender age further eroded his emotional responses, making it shockingly easier for him to commit acts of violence without experiencing the visceral reactions that a non-violent individual would. Yet one glaring issue in Amarjeet's case was the lack of intervention and rehabilitation. A dearth of appropriate mental health support and social services in his community hindered the early identification of his behavioral issues and thwarted any prospects of intervention or treatment. In this chilling tale, Amarjeet Sada's life serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of recognizing early warning signs and the dire need for support and intervention in the face of deeply troubled youth. One fateful day, with the sun casting long shadows as a backdrop, Amarjeet's aunt and mother ventured out to procure vegetables, leaving Sada as the de facto guardian of the two children. It was at this precise moment that the tale ventured into a twisted abyss. At first, it began with pinches and slaps, unsettling actions that sent shivers down the spine of any witness. His cousin, faced with this inexplicable cruelty, couldn't contain her distress and her cries pierced the air. In a chilling escalation, Amarjeet's hands found their way around her throat, and with a sinister determination, he choked the life out of her. The innocent child in the bloom of her youth was silenced forever. Amarjeet's descent into darkness didn't stop there. The depravity within him led him to a nearby forest, where he committed an act so gruesome it's difficult to comprehend. He brutally battered the lifeless form, reducing her head to a ghastly pulp before finally returning home. The earth, forever concealing the dreadful secrets, cradled his sinister deed. However, we are also going to analyze the crime scene along with each and every crime he committed in his short span of life. Crime Scene 1. First Victim. The crime scene of Amarjeet Sada's initial known victim unveiled a nightmarish tableau of horror. The lifeless form lay in a desolate, secluded space, a grim testament to the malevolence that had unfolded. The victim bore the harrowing marks of brutal physical trauma, evidence of a merciless assault that included savage beatings and a haunting strangulation. But the horror didn't stop there. The crime scene whispered of even darker depths of depravity, revealing disturbing signs of sexual assault that added another layer to the profound brutality of the crime. The landscape, once tranquil, had become the backdrop for an unspeakable nightmare, leaving an indelible scar on the collective memory of the community. Perhaps even more disturbing was the family's response. Despite Amarjeet's confession to this heinous crime, his parents chose to shield him, veiling the monstrous truth. It was only a matter of time before the thirst for violence claimed another victim, his own sister. On a frost-kissed winter afternoon, Amarjeet's gaze fell upon his own sister. A sinister impulse gripped him, and in a chilling act of brutality, he lifted her from her cot and tightened his grip until life slipped away. The innocence of childhood had been extinguished by a darkness that defied comprehension. Hours later, as the sun's rays painted a soft glow on the room, Amarjeet's mother approached, her arms cradling her precious child. The truth hung heavy in the air, unspoken but hauntingly known. She couldn't stifle the trembling question that hung on her lips. "Did you do this?" she implored, with an unsettling calm. Amarjeet confessed, his eyes revealing nothing but an enigmatic void. "Yes," he answered. His response was as cryptic as it was chilling. Just like that, once more, the unfathomable horror remained hidden within the walls of their home, a secret whispered only to the shadows, as his parents chose not to take their son's confession beyond the confines of their household. Crime Scene 2. Subsequent Victims. As the sinister tale of Amarjeet Sada unfolded, a haunting pattern emerged at each crime scene. The lifeless forms of his victims were inevitably concealed in secluded, shadowy corners, far removed from the watchful gaze of the world. These eerie locations, once serene, had now borne witness to unspeakable horrors. The victims, in their last moments, bore the cruel imprints of physical torment, their frail bodies showing the marks of brutal, merciless assaults. Blunt force trauma and strangulation were the grim signatures etched into each chapter of this sinister narrative. And the horror didn't stop there. The darkest of secrets whispered of another layer of malevolence, a disturbing sign that some victims had suffered the grotesque violation of sexual assault, adding another dimension of dread to the unfolding tragedy. The crime scenes, shrouded in their own chilling stories, painted a picture of a relentless descent into darkness, where innocence was forever lost. In 2007, Amarjeet Sada's reign of terror met its end with a shocking crime. He was caught by the police. This time, his victim was a mere 6-month-old baby girl named Khushbu. Her mother left her at a local school, but upon her return, the child had vanished, leaving her in agonizing despair. After hours of tormenting uncertainty, Amarjeet confessed to his unspeakable act. He admitted to choking the innocent baby and delivering a brutal blow with a brick, a terrifying display of violence. He then hid the tiny body in the ground, concealing the tragic secret of his monstrous deed. In a disturbing twist, he guided villagers to the spot where he had buried Khushbu, as if revealing the chilling details of his sinister actions. With chilling calm, he recounted to the police, "She was sleeping in the school. I took her a little away and killed her with a stone and buried her, laying bare the darkness that had consumed him." When Amarjeet was 8 years old, the police finally caught up with him. What stunned them was how calm and collected he appeared, with no hint of fear or remorse for his actions. His chilling nonchalance left the officers bewildered. Despite his disturbing demeanor, the police worked to convince him to reveal the grim truth. A psychologist, confronted with the unsettling reality of this young boy, labeled him a sadist, someone who took pleasure in causing harm. This revelation sent shivers down the spines of those trying to understand Amarjeet's dark mind. In a surreal twist, while being questioned by the officer in charge, OIC, of the Bhagalpur police station in Bihar, Amarjeet made an odd request. Before answering any questions, he asked for biscuits, a demand that seemed strangely out of place given the horrors he had committed. The officer was infuriated by his indifference but couldn't shake the haunting realization that the boy sitting before him at just 8 years old had done unspeakable things. As Amarjeet Sada was a minor when he committed these heinous acts, the justice system took a unique approach. He was sent to a juvenile home and placed in isolation, a dark chapter in his life, away from the world he had terrorized. Doctors who attempted to understand the enigma of Amarjeet reported a chilling diagnosis. His conduct disorder seemed to stem from deriving pleasure from inflicting harm upon others. A turning point came in 2016 when Amarjeet turned 18. He was released from confinement, shrouded in a new identity, and vanished into the vast unknown. His whereabouts remain a mystery, a haunting conclusion to a story that continues to intrigue and disturb, where darkness gave way to secrecy, leaving an indelible mark on those who dare to delve into the enigma of Amarjeet Sada. However, psychologists, after studying his case, pointed out several psychological factors about him. Targeting vulnerable victims. Amarjeet Sada targeted young children as his victims. This choice suggests a deliberate focus on individuals who may be more vulnerable and easier to overpower. The disturbing case of Amarjeet Sada, India's youngest serial killer, reminds us how early life experiences, mental health, and the support we receive from society can shape our actions. His violent deeds were influenced by a mix of tough childhood experiences, conduct disorder, and possible psychopathic traits. To prevent such tragedies, we must dig into these complex issues and work on early intervention, better mental health support, and more effective prevention strategies. As we close this unsettling chapter of Amarjeet Sada's story, thank you for joining us on this essential journey into the world of India's youngest serial killer. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and also drop your views regarding this case in the comments section. Share this video with your friends and family. See you in the next episode.